Hey guys, good morning. Dr. Shook here, just hanging out. I'm having actually some coffee. As you guys might know, I'm in Atlanta. I haven't even gotten ready, obviously. I got up this morning and I've been journaling. Use the 5-minute journal. You guys might know kind of my morning routine. I've been on the computer a little bit. I just did a video conference or video call with my kids. They just woke up, and I was doing a little bit of reading, and I was thinking about what I want to share with you guys today. And what I want to talk to you guys about today is probably, this is, I think, the most common problem that I see preventing people from improving Hashimoto's, Graves' disease, or autoimmunity in general. Okay, and this is a really interesting topic because this is something you probably haven't heard very much about. So today what I want to talk to you guys about is psychoneuroimmunology. Okay, so let me say it again: psychoneuroimmunology. So it's this connection between basically your mood, your emotions, your nervous system, and your immune system. And right, so what is Hashimoto's? What is Graves' disease? What is any autoimmune condition? It's an immune system problem, right? The immune system's attacking the body. So to improve that, we have to, typically you'll hear me talk about, well, we've got to address the three drivers that are the biggest drivers of autoimmunity, which are going to be reactivity to dietary food proteins, or reactivity to foods. Chronic infections is going to be the second category, and environmental chemicals is going to be the third. So the best way, the fastest way to figure those things out is to test for them and remove them, right? That's what you're going to hear me talk about a lot. But this idea of psychoneuroimmunology is really, really important. The reason it's important is because, remember, psychoneuroimmunology is just basically mood, how mood influences the nervous system, and how nervous system influences the immune system. Your emotions matter. And if you didn't know this, it's very legitimate. Think about this for a second. When you get scared or someone jumps out and scares you, your heart rate picks up, right? You might start breathing faster. Your muscles tense up, right? That is a fight or flight response. You just had, when that happens, you had a psychological trigger that expressed the immune system. That's actually your sympathetic, or not your immune system. Sorry, you had an event that triggered your nervous system. So what happens is you go into that fight or flight response, right? That is a nervous system, or an autonomic nervous system response to something that happens, and so that's an involuntary response. So your nervous system, you have this autonomic part of your nervous system, which is involuntary. It has two divisions. One is sympathetic, one is parasympathetic. And your sympathetic nervous system is this fight or flight response, right? That's primarily what it does. The other division of that involuntary nervous system is called parasympathetic, and that's your rest and digest system. And then there's this sympathetic. So tying this all together, when you have one of the important things with your immune system and helping you to deal with autoimmunity is that one of the goals that we have when I'm working with someone clinically is to improve their immune regulatory function. Okay, so what does that mean? It just means how well your immune system can self-regulate. So a lot of people, when you're autoimmune, obviously your immune system's attacking your body, and there is not good regulation, right? If there was good regulation in the immune system, it wouldn't be attacking you and the things that it should be protecting. So we want to improve immune regulatory function. When you have a psychoneuroimmunological response, that is, again, right? Let's just use an emotional response that drives a nervous system response that can influence the immune system. If you're constantly under stress, if you have stress and you've gotten in a habit of being really down on yourself and having very negative self-talk, like we all talk to ourselves kind of in our head, think through things, and if you have a very negative and poor self-talk and poor if if you talk to yourself in a negative way, if you just never allow yourself to feel good because you're focusing on and you're so fixated on all the bad things that you perceive are happening. And I know it can be really, really hard, guys. I mean, some of you guys have really powerful and emotional stories, and my heart goes out to you with that. And I try to do everything that I can to help you. But let me tell you something. You've got to work diligently to change that self-talk. You've got to do your best to be happy. Because here's the deal. When you're constantly talking to yourself negatively and you don't allow yourself to be happy, one of the things that occurs is you have poor regulatory T cell function. Those are cells that the immune system makes, and regulatory T cells help to balance the production of immune system cells. So if you're constantly, beating yourself up, if you have this negative self-talk, then there's this very powerful influence on your immune system. It is a psychological, neurological, immunological, immune system connection. Psycho-neuro-immunological connection. And that negative self-talk, all those things that you're doing that are not allowing you to actually basically be happy, will decrease your body's and your immune system's ability to produce regulatory T cells that help to balance the immune system. Now, think about that for a second. That's pretty crazy, isn't it? You think about that, you're like, wow, my mental state will influence my involuntary nervous system, this fight or flight mechanism that can actually suppress and decrease my body's ability to produce immune regulating cells that could help me to get better. That's why that's why functional medicine and the stuff that when I try to work with someone, I am constantly trying to uncover what is the biggest problem that most likely for this person. Because believe me, we have people that we can do everything for them, right? We can uncover and peel back everything, and they are just so beat up by the world, and they have such a difficult time. And you know what? I'm not going to say it's not rightfully so. Grieving is necessary. All these things there's a lot of things that are very, very necessary. But I think we've got to have techniques. We've got to have counseling. We've got to have tools to help us. We've got to journal. We've got to constantly be fighting that fight, right? To get our life back. And the psychological component is an important one. So if we can't overcome and work to be, simplification here, to be happy, then we're going to have a hard time improving our immune system function, right? Have you guys ever heard, and it's kind of like, I don't want to say urban legend, that's probably not correct, but like somebody watched, I don't know where I heard this, but it's been a while, but it's like someone had cancer and all they did was watch comedy like shows all the time, and the laughter helped to heal them. I don't know that that's ever true, but I know I've heard it said, right? Well, and I don't know that that's true at all, but I want to let you know that the power of laughter, of happiness, of relationships, of that feel-good chemical that our bodies produce helps to produce regulatory T cells. Regulatory T cells help to balance the immune system. It's legit. It's a very legitimate thing. Psycho, neurological, and immunological connection. It's very, very important. So sometimes it's not as simple as changing your diet. Sometimes it's not as simple as killing infections. It's not as simple as taking a vitamin and then it should be better. And if it's not better, you're not happy. Look, we're complex, and that is the fact. It's just what it is, guys. We're complex. We're complex, but it's a beautiful thing to see how the body works. And the more that I come to learn about it, the more I realize this is very individualized, what we're doing here, and how you got to help yourself, because everyone has their own mix of things that are creating, problems. So anyway, I want to share that with you guys this morning because I got to get ready for the conference. Starts at 8. You can tell I haven't had a shower. I need to shave. What is it, like 7:35? So like 25 minutes. I was sitting down and just with my favorite cup. My kids on here, and I just want to share that with you guys because I think it's really important. It's something I don't talk about that much. They're really powerful tools that we're learning about that I think are going to be helpful I think counseling, journaling, a lot of things that you need to be actively kind of doing to deal and cope with things. But I think that there are some great tools like biofeedback that are out there to deal with stress. Other ways like heart math. There are a lot of tools, breathing techniques, yoga, some forms of exercise, meditation. I think we have to actively work on ourselves daily, guys. We do. And for some people it's more important than others. But anyway, I want to share that with you guys because it's really, really important. And so if you guys do me a favor, again, if you like what we're doing here, please share it, like and like the videos for me, so I know that you guys are enjoying these. And I'll keep teaching you guys about these different topics, but I'm really trying to focus on the things that I think are the most foundational, that are most important. And I read stuff online when I look up thyroid and autoimmunity, and I'm like, my God, this is so. Why are people complicating this so much? And not that it does get complicated, but in general, like, where do we start? I'm gonna tell you guys, you always start with diet. That's where you start. You've got to start with changing your diet, number one. Then, here, let's say you need a diagnosis, right? Something's got to be figured out first. Really, that's really what you need. You need a good diagnosis. You need to figure out kind of what's going on. But if you know you're autoimmune, and then diet's a really, really good place to start. So like autoimmune paleo is good. Step 2 would be consider some supplementation. A lot of times you need to follow like a diet, lifestyle, temporary supplementation program. There's lots of books. We have a program. If you're interested, I'll post a link. Our program, we try to give you, like, I teach classes through our program to help people semi-customize their care. And like, we do a workshop and stuff like that. But if you're interested in that stuff, I'll share that with you guys. And then if you're not really better with that, or if you want to try to save time, then you need to get some testing done. And that's where you do some of these advanced tests. And the more tests you do, the more information you have to figure out what's driving your problem. But you have to take inventory of stuff like the psychological component here, and we have to look at the whole person. And that's really the difference in, functional medicine at a very high level and customized healthcare than what we're getting. It's just not there yet, in our current system. So anyway, guys, I really, really appreciate you. I got to go get ready for this, but I see some of you guys are commenting. Yeah, Christina, gluten is terrible. Hey guys, hey Linda, Charity, I see you guys. A few of you here. Hey Rose. Yeah, emotions, emotions, when we're talking about a psychoneuroimmunological connection, definitely emotions are huge, right? Because that's what we're talking about. Emotions are what drive a stress response through the autonomic nervous system. So that's exactly whenever we talk about like adrenal issues, right? And I deal with adrenals all the time. So when you've got a thyroid problem, there's a lot of times there's an adrenal problem. No one comes in with like one problem. That would be like a dream world. Everyone comes in with like 50 problems, right? And that's just how we are. And they come in with adrenal problems, thyroid problems, irritable bowel, or digestive problems with constipation, brain fog, fatigue, cold hands, cold feet, losing hair, really low energy. They're anemic, blood sugar dysregulation. They've got a fatty liver. That's the type of people that I see, and that's what they come in with. And what you have to do is you look at you look at their whole case. That's why you have to, if I'm working with someone, I have to get some basic labs on them to look at what's happening to their foundational physiological, the ability of their cells to operate on a basic physiological level, because you can't skip some of the basics, guys. Like, that's a big mistake. A lot of people will be like, I need food sensitivities, or I need that stool test. And I'm like, wait a minute, we don't even know what's happening. Are you anemic, or do you have anemic tendencies? Do you have iron problems? Do you have blood sugar dysregulation, where your blood sugar is high or low? Do you have, there's a lot, do you have inflammation in your body? If you do, those are really legitimate things that have to be identified first, because a lot of problems you'll find when you're working through these issues with people, a lot of problems mimic one another. They look just the same. So someone can be anemic and they think they have a thyroid problem because they're always tired. Someone can have blood sugar dysregulation, high or low blood sugar, and be completely fatigued and think they have a thyroid problem, but it's actually the blood sugar. Someone can have blood sugar problems and have terrible menstrual cycles, adrenal issues, and think it's my adrenals and spend all this money on adrenal stuff, and like I'm in adrenal fatigue and exhaustion, and really it's blood sugar. And or they have menstrual irregularities, and they have, someone did a hormone panel with them and they say, oh, your estrogen, you're deficient in progesterone, and estrogen, your testosterone's low. Wow, you've got to take hormone replacement. And they don't look at their blood sugar or their adrenals. Listen, all of those, you can't have normal hormones if you don't have stable blood sugar. I'm going to tell you right now, I've got a video that's a whiteboard video where I talk about a pregnenolone steal. It's a concept with your adrenal hormones where excessive stress causes you to produce excessive cortisol, and it will deplete your steroid hormones of pregnenolone. It is a mother hormone to testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone, and cortisol. Guys, you've got to always come back to the basics. Always come back to what is most foundational to health. That's why when I see all this stuff that I'm reading online, I'm like, wow. I go down rabbit holes sometimes, I know, with my talks and what I teach you guys. But a lot of it could be a lot more simpler as far as where to start. And so that's what I'm really trying to do, is like help you guys decipher some of this stuff, kind of think through it, see it from my perspective and what I think about it. And then, yeah, I mean, of course you can get into things that are more obscure, but you've always got to start with the basics. And the basics are what are going to help you help yourself without having to go to anyone else to help you, right? That's really what you all have to do. Because I'm going to tell you what, if you call me up and you say, hey, I'd like to try and work with Dr. Shook, guess what the first things I'm going to look at are, what are the basics? Have you done diet? Have you changed your diet? Have you done all these other things? Because if you haven't, that's what I'm going to have you start with first, right? We can do a workup and look at a lot of other things, but I'm going to have you do the basics first. So I'm just going to teach you guys all the basic stuff and everything I could possibly teach you to do. And then if you need help, then hopefully you can get help somewhere. If you need help from me, well, I'll try to help you if I can. I work with people all over the country and all over the world. We do distance consulting via Skype, like video like this. We just talk like this. We can get lab testing done almost anywhere. A lot of people ask, like I see questions all the time. Hey, do you work with people? Yeah, I work with people all over the world, really. Skype, phone, and we do a lot of virtual consulting, and we get labs done anywhere in the U.S. The U.K. is a little bit harder, but there are some ways we can do it, in other countries. But yeah, you can get help, guys. You can get help. There are people out there, and there's some brilliant doctors probably around you. But this is for a whole different topic. Anyone can say they practice functional medicine. Anyone can say they're integrative. I had one of my patients come into my office. She was on 30 supplements. I looked at the workup that had been done at this clinic she'd been to, and I'm just shaking my head because there was no physiology. There was no thinking through what was going on with her. It was basically like green medicine. Labs come in, they look at the values, and they give her, instead of a prescriptive medication for her symptoms, they just gave her supplements. And then they did genetic testing with her, and they didn't even... If you're looking at genetics and you're just thinking, what vitamin do I need for this genetic SNP or this genetic problem, you're doing it wrong. I'm just telling you right now, you need to see if those genetics are influencing that person's chemistry. If they are influencing that person's chemistry, then you consider supplementation or what needs to change. This patient that came in, he just looked at her genetic SNPs and gave her a ton of supplements for it. She felt like crap when she came to see me. And the more that we take away from her supplementation protocol, the better she feels. And I'm like, this is garbage work, guys. This is not acceptable. We owe it to people to do better work than that. And I want you guys to know that that's really important to me, is that we just figure out, let's talk about the basics. Let's talk about where you might want to start in kind of a process that you kind of want to think through. And like I said, you can try that stuff. If you want to get testing, there's nothing wrong with getting testing and doing more advanced workups. It will save you time in a lot of cases because it gives you more information to make decisions, right? So anyway, guys, I am gonna be like, I could talk to you guys forever, but I got to go. So I really super appreciative of you guys. And if you guys have any questions, let me know. Please do share this. Please like, give me some hearts and love, and I just really appreciate it. And I will talk to you guys again very very soon. We're gonna have a great morning here. I've got a great seminar that we're working. I'm meeting so many amazing doctors around the country from other countries and people that are doing amazing things in healthcare. We're learning about technologies and ways to innovate and try to help people just like you to be healthier. So we're going to do what we can do. But I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for all the hearts and love. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you soon. Hey guys, Dr. Shook, thank you for viewing our videos. I hope they help you out. If you want to, just subscribe to our channel somewhere here. You can watch a video that YouTube's actually selected for you, so hopefully it'll help you out. If you need any other information or resources, just look in the description. We've got links to our website, to our 9 lab test guidebook, and everything else that we do. I really appreciate you, and I hope you guys have a great